This is my 8-month-old Toyota. We don't like saying the P word around here. There's the sound in there. And this is actually the LE, believe it or not. Got some beat going on. We'll pause that so we don't get copyrighted. And yeah, so the main thing, other than the sound and the which is a score sub and the kicker speakers and the custom fitted made for this car seat covers that fit like directly over kind of the same connections that the cloth covers make. Like they literally go on the same connectors. It took me hours to do it. But yeah, so the main thing that everybody always asks about is the screen upgrade. There's a thing where, and I gotta let this out here. When the car is started, no, you don't gotta turn on the AC and the gas motor to kick on for the 12-volt battery to charge. I don't know who started that rumor, but that's just not true. Soon as the 12-volt battery comes on, it turns on the engine control module and the inverter outverter. I think it's the name of it. Charges the battery and the hybrid battery. And the hybrid battery. Well, the hybrid battery when the car is moving, but it charges the 12-volt battery, and I know because I have checked it. So, it's not like I'm going to sit here. If not, the battery would go dead. I would just go dead. If I'm sitting here like this, or if I'm driving around, the battery would just go dead. 12-volt batteries only really start a car. Now, these batteries do have a reserve capacity, kind of like a amp hour rating, similar to like a Bolt battery, to where it does crank and it does have a little extra capacity in it. To be honest, it needs a higher amp hour rating or reserve capacity on this battery. It needs a higher reserve capacity and a higher co-cranking amp, in my opinion. Well, not just my opinion, it's well known. And Toyota even makes a bigger battery. I think eventually they'll start putting them in here because of the issues. But anyway, beyond from that, somebody's got this rumor where to charge it, you need to turn on the AC or something to get the gas motor going so it charges, but that's not true. It's always charging. And the hybrid battery, obviously that charges with kinetic energy. But let's go for what we was talking about here. So the screen. So there's a Ryan Kim. There's a couple links I'm going to put in the description that was going over this, and a little bit of insight that I learned about the connected services. I had my other screen, but I didn't want to get rid of it just in case. When you get this radio, make sure you don't sign out to guess, because you can leave your radio in a state where it's hard to get back into if you sign out to guess. So don't do that. You can reset it. You can remove the accounts. Just don't sign out to guess. People have made that mistake already. That's what you don't want to do. Now, as far as the connected services, they think that, it's not going to work, the serial number, whatever. Well, the thing is the DCM, if that's the right terminology for it, I believe that's what it's called, DCM, is the shark fin antenna on the roof. And that's what actually has the digital SIM or actual SIM, I don't know what they use, that connects to AT&T. So as soon as you plug this in, if you got a subscription like I already did, it just starts working because it's going off that. Even if the radio was unplugged, it would still work because it's going off of that. It's not going off the radio. The technology is not in here that's putting out the signal for like SOS and stuff. It's on the roof. It's not in the radio. So the connected services works. Now, what is the issue is there is something There's another thing binding to the radio, and that's the Sirius XM code, but that could be changed easy. You go in, you change it. It won't match the VIN if you type your VIN, but you manually go in here, get the Sirius XM serial number, and do it that way. Perfectly fine. So that does change. The way the car looks at it, I'm a little iffy on it. I was thinking that the computer automatically just sees it as a radio, and there's no programming, nothing involved there. I looked on TIS because I program car computers, and I'm a automotive locksmith and electrician, but there's nothing on here for the radio, not on there. Now there is Toyota Engage and another system that the dealers use that will actually remove accounts. It will remove the subscription from a VIN, or the account from a VIN, to where if like, let's say this car, I sold this car, let's say this was factory radio, I sold this car, my account was attached to it, the other person got in it, they would not be able to set up their account because of the VIN number. So they would have to get a hold of Toyota, and Toyota would have to remove the account from using Engage and take it off of there. And then as soon as they did that, you would reset this and it would go to the blue screen. You would scan your VIN number, scan the QR code, and you'd be in there. And that's how that process works if you buy it from somebody else, or if they remove the car from their app, it also works that way. Speaking of that, so knowing this and having both my original and this radio, I'm trying to get this back to QR code. Now I got, and I don't think it's going to happen, I got my name. It even sees me. It knows that I'm here, but I cannot pick myself. Like, I cannot click on myself. It will not do it. You know what I'm saying? It just won't do it. And if I go here to manual, a white square just pops up and it's just sitting there. That's normally the square where you sign in your credentials manually. But I will tell you this. So what I try to do is I try to hit the SOS like some people mentioned. That didn't go too well. They was like, no, we're not used for, resetting, the system or whatever. I try to disconnect the battery for 30 minutes, thinking, the theory is that will disable the DCM. And when the radio comes back online, it will be in a state to where it needs to connect to an account and stuff. But that didn't work. Now, it would probably work if my radio, the factory one, was in here, not this one. Maybe it would work then, I don't know. So I have not been able to get my actual account on here, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm signed in. All my services are working. If I paid AT&T, I could get the hotspot on, because it all uses the internet. So if my remote starts working, then obviously my hotspot's going to work too, because it's all using AT&T. And that's, you get that whole thing where it's connected to the car. That lasts for 10 years. But then, for the services that you're using, you got to pay for the, I think it's $15 for the remote start and stuff. But anyway, so what I tried to do is I tried to remove my account off of my phone, and I almost messed up. Thank God I had my old radio. I almost messed up, because when I did, I couldn't sign back in because the QR code didn't pop up on here. But what did happen is it asked me to scan my VIN and then scan my QR code. But the QR code never came up on here. So in some ways, it is tied to the other car. I don't know which way exactly, but it is, because when I reset it, it just doesn't know one here. Now, maybe if the person who had this, maybe if they physically removed their VIN number from this account, maybe then it would go to the QR code thing. But I was thinking that there was no VIN tied to the radio, but there might be. There's something there that's stopping it from happening. I'll tell you why I know. And that's because when I plugged in my factory one, luckily I hit reset, and after I had removed my account, that one went to the blue screen. Before, it didn't go back to the blue screen. I had to remove my account from my phone, which I had did earlier that day, hoping this one would go to the blue screen. It didn't. So I got my other one, got that on blue screen, scanned it, got back in. I said, you know what? I don't care that it don't say my name right here. It connects to my phone automatically. Everything's working. Who cares? I'm gonna leave it like it is. I'm not gonna sell my other radio in case I ever need it for any account thing and I had to plug it in. But that's what I learned. If anybody finds a way, let me know in the comments. Another thing is, and Ryan Kim, I think, originally made the post or whatever. There are 2 variants of this radio, one for JBL, one for non-JBL. You want to get the non-JBL version. I think it ends in 50. I think the number ends in 50, and I think the JBL ends in 60. Don't quote me on it, but I'm almost pretty sure. Like I said, I'm gonna link that original discussion in there. If you get the JBL and you got a LE without the JBL system, then you won't be able to change the audio because that system connects to an amplifier. So get the non-JBL version. You're in there. Don't sign out to guests. Reset it. Make your account. Keep your account signed in on your phone. And in the meantime, if we figure out a way to get this back to the blue screen to where we can actually get our account on there, or if I find something, I'll do an update. But as of right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it's working. And I'm gonna keep my old radio, not sell it, just in case any issues arise. But yeah, CEO Unlocks, and I'm out of here. Like, subscribe, and share. I don't do too many YouTube videos that much these days, but every once in a while I do.